All right. Big War on I-4 road game coming up. Just your thoughts on the opportunity.
You know, this is a great rivalry, and it's something that we've embraced. You know, Central Florida maybe played their best game in the last month or so the other night with a big win at Tulane, and in this league to get a road win is very difficult. Great opportunity for us to go on the road. Played pretty well, but now we need to take another step. We need to keep getting better. We need to make plays down the stretch that help us, you know, finish games. So big response opportunity for our guys. Central Florida went with a much older veteran lineup in that Tulane game with 2 grad students, 2 redshirt juniors, and another junior who's a transfer from an SEC school. So their experience on the road really helped them in that game. So it's going to be a great challenge for us. We've got a great amount of respect for them and for Coach Dawkins, obviously, but a great opportunity for us.
They play good defense. You play good defense. I mean, what's going to be some key factors in this?
Well, I think at times it might look like a rock fight, and we got to be okay with, maybe winning the game on the defensive end. We got to do a great job of defending their 3-point shooters. In Smith inside, he's one of the most versatile big guys in the league. Tremendous passer. Maybe doesn't get enough credit for that. Tremendous offensive rebounder. And we got to do a great job on the glass because they're one of the best offensive rebounding teams that we've faced all year long. And you can't give them open shots. They're better shooters than their percentages maybe have shown, and they've shot the ball better in the last couple of weeks.
I asked Q this. I saw a stat this morning. I think 69% of all conference games in the American have been won by the home team. What makes it so challenging to play on the road that most fans wouldn't think about?
Well, I think number one, and the thing that I've been trumpeting, if that's the correct word, all year long, is how much better the league is. Just in the 3 years that I've been here, it's just dramatically improved from top to bottom. I think the top teams are, second weekend Final Four caliber teams, especially this year, where maybe there is no dominant team out there. But the teams that have been at the bottom have dramatically improved, talent-wise, schematics, system, all those things. So when you get that, what used to be you mark it down as a win no matter where you were playing, doesn't happen anymore. And just the fact that, road games are more difficult. You're out of your comfort zone. It's always been a little more difficult, but now with the better teams, it's made it that much harder.
Against Memphis, it seemed like Michael Durr was being more aggressive around the basket, looking to dunk the ball more. Is that something that you or your assistants have been talking with him about?
Yeah, his ability to finish around the basket is dramatically improved, and we needed to take another step. On some of those, we need 3-point play opportunities instead of going to the line shooting 2. So, but he's gotten stronger, more explosive. From last year, and that's only going to continue to improve. He played a lot of minutes that game. When you have your center playing 30-plus minutes going against guys that are only playing 20, 25, it makes a big difference. So his conditioning has been a big factor in that as well.
UCF is, you mentioned a 3-point shot, but they struggled, especially against Cincinnati. If the shots aren't falling for them, they're going to move inside. What plans do you have in place to try and keep them from getting inside? Well,
one of the biggest things for us is to, to guard the inside, you got to pressure on the outside, and that's kind of always how we've done it. We have, again, some things in place if we're getting hurt inside. And like you said, they didn't shoot the ball well against Cincinnati, and then they turned around against Tulane and shot lights out, As I said, they're better shooters than their numbers show. But again, with the inside-outside ability of them, with the Jesus, Ingram, with their ability to get into the lane, again, a lot of times when the ball touches the paint, it puts you in a very difficult situation to rebound the ball. So our job is to keep it out of there as much as we can.
Hitting the foul line will help, and David Collins, he did just that the last time. How encouraging was that to see him aggressive around the hoop and getting to the line and making it?
Yeah, obviously that's a big part of his game, and it always has been. And I think you're starting to see now a little bit of that explosiveness, that first step back, a little bit since the ankle injury. And he was dynamic in that game. He did a lot of things. Defensively, he was really good as well. So, we need that night in and night out for him. He carries a heavy load. Him and Q carry a heavy load. They really do. They're always, because they're the veterans, they're always guarding the two best perimeter players, and they carry a load for us on offense as well. That's why when we shoot the ball well and we get a third and fourth guy involved offensively that score, it makes the game so much easier for all of us, the coach included.
Speaking of Q, he's rising up the ladder in steals, career steals in the conference and here. And he's a guy that says, I wasn't a very good defender when I started playing basketball. I kind of, worked his way into it. What does that say for a guy like that?
Well, naturally he's got unbelievable instincts, and we've given him the freedom to use those, and he's done a good job of that. And even this year, I think he's better defensively this year because he's not gambling as much, but he's getting almost the same amount of steals. So there's less negatives with some of his anticipatory skills. So, for him, we have to count on him. As a coach, I'm hard on him because anytime his man scores, I'm like, that can't happen. But that's the standard that he's set. I don't know where he will be because he's only played, 2 years here, but he's got to go down as one of the best defenders that have ever worn a Bulls uniform, no question about it.
Even sitting at 1-3 in the conference right now, this entire thing is wide open. Mm-hmm. I mean, how, you guys are down but not out. What's kind of the outlook?
Yeah, that's a good question because it's a long season, a lot of games left. But I think the most important thing for us to do, are we playing well? And the things that we're not doing well, can you improve over these next 8 weeks? And I think we can. And then you got to play the games, because if you start looking past the next practice and the next game, you're in trouble in this league. So our focus is totally on Saturday at 6 p.m. But you're also always aware of what else is going on in the league. The games last night, the games this weekend. Teams that you would think, okay, they're going to win that game. They traveled home with a loss. You know what I mean? But that's the beauty of league play as well. Usually the teams that have really good seasons within the league are the teams that are the most consistent, the teams that have the best leadership, and third, the teams that have a very short memory. Whether you win or lose, the next day you got to get back to work.
So how do you have that short memory after, a disappointing loss against Memphis like that?
That again, you look at things that are really important in what you're trying to duplicate is, high level programs of excellence. They're able to do that, and that's a step for us. We have to learn how to do that. I thought there was times last year we were really good at it, but there was times where we weren't as good at it. And I can remember the last 2 games of the regular season heading into the league tournament. We had lost a couple games, and I thought that affected us going into the league tournament. So it's a step that we have to take, and the best way I know is during your practice time to continually have good practices. I know I sound like a broken record, but the best opportunity you have, the best odds you have to play well in the games is to practice well every day. And that doesn't guarantee it, but it gives you a better chance.
Good stuff.